Hello and welcome to Fishing with Joe. I'm your spokesmodel, Carrie. Behind every great fisherman is an expert lure maker. On today's show, we'll be visiting the expert lure maker who designs the sizzling hot baits we use on our show. Get ready to be amazed by the work of Robert Ladd of Spinnerbobslures.com. Fishing with Joe, you gotta love it.
Got it. Come here. Oh, yeah. Oh, snap. Goodness gracious. Oh, my God. I seen him come out and grab it. Fat catfish right there. Oh, yeah. All right. Ooh, nice one. Oh, I hope I can keep him buttoned up. Oh, yeah. That is a hoss right there. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Hey everybody, welcome to today's episode of Fishing with Joe. Now, you've been watching the shows for years and you see me use a lot of secret baits. I don't always tell my secrets. I can't tell you everything, but behind every great fisherman is an even greater lure maker. And today I will be with Bob from Spinner Bob's Lures and Matt Lubrick. They are the owners of Spinner Bob's Lures, and they are going to tell us about some of the awesome lures they're making. And you're going to learn the little secrets that nobody else knows. You're going to learn about the baits that I use to catch the big ones. All right, Bob.
Yep.
Tell me about some of the baits that you have here. There are a lot here that are my favorites, but I want you to explain them because you are the master lure maker.
Well, we'll start out with the three-bladed buzz bait.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of a unique lure. And it'll come right up out of the water as quick as you start to retrieve. It comes up, and we put a trailer hook on it for you. All you do is to purchase one and go fishing. You don't have to do anything else. And then we have a double-bladed buzz bait, and I also make a single-bladed buzz bait. And they all work real well in the water, and I guarantee you to catch fish.
And I'll tell you about these baits.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things that I really love about these baits, I like the plastic blades. The reason I like the plastic blades, and I had insisted to Bob, plastic blades are lighter than the metal blades. And so when you're pulling that buzz bait along, it doesn't take as much time for it to come up to the surface of the water. You'll see these blades are spinning right now. They spin really easy, but with three different arms, 3 different blades on there, it comes across the top of the water super, super slow. So when you are in areas where the fish have to think about it all day long before they hit it, and you need a super, super slow buzz bait, that is your buzz bait right there. And you see the way that trailer hook is setting right back there in order to get them. I like to rig mine up with a trailer hook.
Yeah.
So that is an excellent bait when you need it to go along really slow. And Bob, that's the secret sauce right there. Bob makes the best. And with the double arm bait, just a different kind of look. You always have to give the fish something different. That's what I like to do, because I fish in a lot of areas where there are a ton of fishermen. They're all using the same thing. I got to give them something different. And right there, totally different look. 2 arms, the arms come out to the side, but it's almost like a jig design in a buzzbait. So again, the plastic blades comes up to the top of the water right away. Excellent, excellent bait. Now Bob, tell us about the finish that you put on these, because you can basically bounce these lures off of a rock and the paint won't chip. What is it that you do? What's the secret that makes them not chip?
With each lure, in the spinner baits and buzz baits, I rubber coat each lure. There's no paint on the lure at all. And I think that's the selling point of the lures. You never have to buy a new lure because you shipped it and the paint come off. You won't have to worry about it with this lure.
And that's something that I'll tell you. I take these baits, I bounce them off of rocks, fishing for smallmouth in river type environments. The paint doesn't come off. And it's nothing like you're out there and you look through your box and here you have a bunch of baits, spinner baits and buzz baits, and the paint has chipped off. You don't even want to use them. And so these are excellent, excellent baits. I love that rubber coating. Love that rubber coating.
Yeah.
All right. Now you showed us the buzz baits, but you got some crankbaits here as well.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at them, Bob. Show me.
I have made all different kinds of crankbaits. I can make them with rattlers or without rattlers. And then I made this especially for Joe.
Oh gosh.
He likes the short one for walking the dog. So I thought, well, I'm going to surprise Joe and make him this one. And this here is rubber coated also, Joe.
Wow. So I can bounce it off the rocks?
You can bounce it anywhere you want to.
No problem.
And no problem.
And I like the size of the bait. In the northern climates, the fish want a shorter bait. They don't want a bait that's too long. And that's something that I see that happens quite a bit. And with some of the shorter baits that are out there, they're not heavy enough to be able to walk them properly. This bait's a little different. Body is just a little bit fatter, so you've got more weight to be able to cast it. But you're gonna get that true walking action that you want out of it because it is a little bit heavier, but still a little bit shorter. So that way, you're fishing for largemouth or you're fishing for smallmouth, they're not just going to come up and hit at the bait, knock it out of the water. They're going to eat the bait because that's what you need. You need them to eat that bait. And those eyes that you got on there, tell me about those, Bob.
They're just an eyes that I worked out with a company to supply me with eyes and that, and I decided I'd put eyeballs on every lure that I made.
All right. And
because you know what's a lure without eyes? Fish got eyes, so that's the reason why I did the way I did it.
And I like that little bit of extra color.
Yeah.
Always when you have a bait, you always like shad patterns, especially for walking baits. But you always got to have a little bit of red somewhere, and it's like that red symbolizes to the fish that there's something wrong with that. There's something wrong with that bait fish. He's sick, and he's the one to go after. I always like that right there.
Yeah.
Always like that, Bob.
Okay. And then I make crankbaits that'll go 15 to 20 feet deep. And these are it right here. And they will run deep.
All right.
And that'll get down there, and they got a tight wobble. They just really swinging when you're pulling them in. You can fast crank it or slow retrieve. And the slower you go, the more wobble you get.
So for those Great Lakes walleye fishermen, that's the bait for them right there.
That's the bait right there.
All right, get it down deep.
Yep.
And now, Bob, here's another thing about these baits. Tell me what these baits are made out of.
Balsa wood.
All
out of balsa wood.
And a lot of the old school fishermen, they will know the value of a balsa wood bait, especially when you're fishing deep, as opposed to a plastic bait. There is no substitution for the real thing sometimes.
Well, the reason why I use balsa wood, Joe, is because it stays in the strike zone longer. If you get one that's too heavy, you're not going to get the reaction that you get off the balsa wood coming up. And they'll hit it right off the top of the water.
All right.
Yep.
So there you go. You've got it. The secret sauce right here. These are some of the secret baits that I use that help me catch fish in those places that are very difficult to fish, places that you see me in the show, like downtown Columbus and in Dayton, Ohio, and other places like that. So if you want to get hooked up, you better head over to spinnerbobslures.com And you better get you some of these. Yeah. But here's what's gonna happen. We're gonna do a little bit of fishing. We're gonna take some of these baits out,
yeah.
And we're gonna show you some real fish on these baits.
Yeah. Another nice bass for Spinner Bob's worms. You gotta try them, you gotta love them. Like Joe says on the shows, you gotta love it.
With Spinner Bob's lures, you're not gonna have to sit there and switch those hooks out and everything. You're not gonna have to switch those hooks out. You've already got good high quality hooks when you start. All right, there you go. There you go, good job. The greatest feeling in the world when they come up and just suck it down and you hear that sound. And it's just like, gotta love it. Got to love it.